One of the most profound things I've learned in my life is that it's actually not about my hair at all. I've spent a lifetime trying to cover up who I am. And as much as I love a good external transformation, and I do, I much more love a heart transformation. Join me as I share how I work to heal my heart, find happiness, and embrace our hair. Okay, you guys, welcome to the It's Not About Your Hair podcast, where we talk all things hair, heart, and happiness. I'm excited. Season 3. I told you I was going to bring guests. I'm not disappointing. And this season, I told you that I was going to have every other week, I have a mini series called It's Not Your Business, where we talk about business. And so this episode is like a hybrid of hair, heart, happiness, and it's not your business, because I am interviewing my friend, owner and founder of Innersense Organic Beauty, also like a healing master, a specialist in love and light, a mentor, a friend to many. This is Joanne Startman, and I'm excited to have her here. We're here in Austin doing a work event, and we thought we're going to bring every podcast equipment you can bring. We've taken it on our last 3 trips. Like we are going to podcast like it ain't nobody's business. We brought our friend Jody. She just left because she's like, I can't hang with y'all. But we're here being serious. Our first edit we don't think went. So we're round 2. Yeah. But whatever. Yeah. Like, here's my thing, you guys. Do it dirty, do it messy, do it now, because you're going to keep messing up. Like, life is about ups and downs and all around. And I just wanted to bring Joanne on because I literally think she's a genius. I think that you're a gift to the world, and you're starting your own podcast as if like owning a brand that's killing it in the world, literally, in our senses. And how many
global, yeah, we're at like 13 countries. I don't know, more than 13. Germany, France, Italy, the UK, Australia, like soon to be the Middle East, going to be in Mexico. Yeah, we're united all over the United States, obviously Canada. Yeah.
So I have like people say to me all the time, Innersense must be new. I've never heard of it. And the entrepreneur experience is often hidden in disguise by years of hard, grudge. So is Innersense new?
No. 20 years new, girl.
Okay.
Greg and I laugh because we heard somebody say once it takes 20 years to become an overnight success.
Oh, I would. Yeah.
So, yeah. So we've been doing the dirty work for a long, long time. It's been,
20 years. So can you tell me where the idea for Innersense came from, and just a little bit? Yeah, let's start there. Like, where did it come from?
Yeah, for sure. So Greg and I are both hairstylists, stood behind the chair for a long, long time. Greg, probably after 10 years, stepped away from the chair and started to work for big beauty brands that you would know. He worked in sales and marketing, and that's kind of the journey that he took.
Okay.
All the while I stood behind the chair. We met in the beauty industry. I was a platform artist, and it was one of the companies that he was working for that I was doing education for. And so we met, and it was like instantly fell in love. So
love story.
It was a love story. I talk about Innersense as a love story, yes, for sure. And then we married and started a family. And it was really for me when our firstborn, Morgan, was 22 months old, and she was diagnosed with a very rare genetic disability called Williams syndrome.
Okay.
And as you can well imagine, I was a young mom. And so that really turned my world upside down. And so I turned to health. I mean, it was like, for me, it was like, here I have this baby. I don't really know what the future looks like. And I know I want to be the healthiest mom I could be. I want to make sure that she has the start that she is going to make her the best. And so I started label reading, basically. I turned over the bottle, and I was actually 20 years ago. And I was actually using a product that we probably all know very, very well on her curly hair. And I remember being like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, and using it on her hair. And shortly thereafter, like maybe weeks after, I was like, oh my God, her hair is so dried out. Like, why is it so dried out?
Interesting.
And it, in hindsight now looking, when I became a label reader, what I found out, there were silicones, resins, plastics, synthetic fragrances, all these things that I didn't want on her hair, all, things I did not want in the salon, things I didn't want to be using on my clients. And so it started a conversation between me and Greg. And what I did was I started purchasing products at the health food store. I mean, this is long before Whole Foods was not even around at the time.
Wow.
Well, maybe they had one store somewhere, or I don't know where it was, but I didn't have a Whole Foods. I was just going to the health food store, purchasing products, bringing them home, testing them out, and they didn't work like professional products. They did not perform. And so I think that was really where the hairdresser side of me really needed that performance. And so that started a conversation between me and Greg. He was able to use a lot of contacts that he had already had in the industry. The other thing we realized that was very, very interesting for me that we don't think about, and this was kind of like Greg's whole angle, because he was sitting in big meetings and boardrooms for big hair care companies. What he was listening to was how companies would have one formula for the United States and another formula for Europe, because Europe wouldn't allow those ingredients in their countries.
And we're seeing that in the food industry.
We're seeing that
as well.
Exactly.
The world and time we're living in now.
Exactly. And so it's not just about the product that's in the bottle, but it's about how the product is synthesized. And so you can have something like, let's just take shea butter, for instance. Like, you have shea butter, but there's many, many different grades of shea butter. And depending upon what supplier
up to.
No, it's so, like, let's say you buy shea butter from one supplier and it's a very inexpensive shea butter. And the reason is because it's been synthesized with petrochemicals. So it's way less expensive. Or you can buy
mixed in,
synthesized, or so that shea butter, when it goes into the product, it's still just labeled shea butter. Because there's no federal government regulations that standards over it. That's a whole nother podcast, which Greg would be happy to. We'd love Greg would be happy to be, Greg, right? Exactly. So anyway, where were we at with that? And so, yeah, I mean, I think with that, Innersense was born. And again, that was 20 years ago. Another piece of it for me was just being a hairstylist. And I think where I was at that time when Morgan was diagnosed, and I had, thank you. I like having it's like putting in your eye. Sorry. No. So Morgan was just diagnosed. Well, I was just getting ready to deliver my son, who calls himself the lesser known child, because of course, if anybody knows Morgan, she's our director of joy now. She's 29 years old, but I have a beautiful boy, Max, and Max is 27 years old, and he works in our company too. He works in finance. Very, very proud of him. He's an amazing man.
Sweetie.
Yeah.
So cute. So smart.
But Morgan was diagnosed 22 months old. Max hadn't been delivered. I was getting ready to deliver him in like 2 weeks. So here I am getting ready to deliver another baby. I'm depressed. I'm like overwhelmed. I'm sad. Like, I mean, this was like a devastating thing. I was also coming off from behind the chair. And so just the whole thing of reflection of like being a stylist, and what was I carrying from all those years behind the chair, wrapped in to everything that was going on in my life. And I think what came up for me was, oh my God, I'm going to be a caregiver the rest of my life. I mean, I could cry saying this, like, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing, like realizing, like, as a young mom going, like, am I the right mom for this child? And like, what's the rest of my life going to look like? But what I have realized, Casey, was I had already been a caregiver, being a hairstylist.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like, you got this, girl. Like, you're going to be able to do this. Look, you've been caring for your clientele all these years. And so as a brand, and when we brought Innersense to life, part of my passion is wanting to be a brand beyond the package, beyond the ingredients, beyond. And I wanted to be a company that was going to serve the caregiver, be care for the caregiver, if you will. And that was something that was really, forefront of my mind,
Mhm.
planting the seed of Innersense was really just wanting to be a place of community, of love, of compassion, of where stylists could come together and unite. I don't know, and just be a place where people could thrive and grow and benefit from even more than just a fabulous product.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I want to encourage and solidify that I stepped into the brand 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. And I feel that. I feel that in the brand. I feel seen. Feel valued. I think it's really amazing to have, because I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years and it is hard to stick with something when it doesn't feel like it's going well. And it's hard to continue to serve others when, as an entrepreneur or pioneer, I'd like to say, because you're a pioneer, beyond even an entrepreneur, you and Greg have pioneered in an industry that is now hyped up. You know,
Yeah.
our tagline this year is believe in the hair, not
Not
the
the
hype.
hype.
You know, I think that there's a lot of hype around clean. There's a lot of hype around healing. There's a lot of hype around the buzzword serving. You guys do that at an excellent level. And I think it's really cool, you and Greg both, that he's really driven by the brand, the product,
Yes.
the efficacy,
Yes.
the standards,
Mhm.
the staying true to that.
Mhm.
And you're still really true to what you just said your vision was 20 years ago,
Yeah.
serving those who serve,
Yeah.
standing behind something that creates help for others.
Mhm.
Would you mind if we shifted?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you brought up Morgan.
Mhm.
And I know, that being a caregiver can be, uh, taxing, and I'm just gonna pivot into that a little bit. Like, what
Yeah.
are some things you do to care for yourself? Do you feel
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and not even just being a caregiver, but being an entrepreneur, dealing with stressful situations, like, how do you take care of
Yeah,
yourself?
that's a
And
really good question. I mean, that's been a journey for sure. Like, self-care is like a huge thing and sometimes it can feel very, very, very selfish, but it's like the whole adage about putting the, mask on first
self.
before do for other people. And I think that that's just, totally true. And I love all the things self-care. I love a massage. I love
Mhm.
the long walk by myself. And, I've been into meditation for a long, long time, but I do think that that's something that I'm just deepening into for myself. And it's
Mm.
just those times of being quiet. I mean, I think that's like major self-care for sure.
Quiet.
So yeah, I don't, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like, um I'm gonna pivot back and forth. This is ADD in action, you guys. Hopefully you're trailing along. So I do feel like, again, following you, that self-care is a part of um your vision for others too. Like,
Oh, yes.
so I've
Oh,
been a
yes.
hairdresser
Yes.
for
Yes.
25,
Yes.
30 years. I've been a part of many brands. I've been a big salon owner, little salon owner. You and Greg, and the way that you treat the businesses that work for you, you give back to them in self-care. Like, you
Right.
promote self-care to all people. Like, it's pretty powerful. I was like, what the heck? This company's crazy. Ah, but I've learned a lot about self-care through how you guys, even, even moments of just like, take a deep breath, get
Right.
in your seat. You don't have
Yeah,
to be able
yeah,
to
yeah.
go to Miracle, which we do, because
Yeah.
we are able to create that. But I think giving people opportunities, even here this weekend, you weren't with us.
Right.
You showed up a little later, but you have a team member who led us in a moment of uh, grounding, which is something that I'm sure that they learned from you. Like, I just
Yeah.
think it's so powerful. So, in the pioneer entrepreneur journey, you started this brand 20 years ago. When do you feel like, or have you always believed that it would work? Or was it more,
Oh,
you
there's been
did it,
so
it
many
went?
moments of doubt. Like, I look back and I think about all the
Yeah.
times, like, I was balled up in a corner, crying, begging Greg just to get a job because
Well, hold on.
Hey, we barely have food on the table. Yeah, I mean, there were many, 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 many struggles. And, I think when we first launched the brand, I thought, oh my God, every hairdresser is going to be running to us because I just had this awakening. And now I think everybody else should have this awakening. And so I remember walking into salons going, hi, I'm Joanne. I've got this great product, blah, blah, blah. And they're going, oh, we've already got that. It's called pure blah, 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 you know? And I'm like, really? Oh, interesting. And, it's just interesting to me, the education that it's taken, to be able to really just
For
continue
yourself or
to educate others and art and education for ourselves on.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to pivot many times. We had to, pivoting is a huge thing in business for sure. It's definitely not about the destination. It's definitely a journey, and it's never going to look what is interesting for me, like looking back 20 years, it's not the business that I thought that I was creating, but it's a business that's even better than I ever thought it was. Like better than, there were times where there were moments where you're just like, this isn't working the way that you want it to work. And then just allowing and pivoting and being like, we're just going to stay true to what we're doing and who we are.
Yeah.
And then having to wiggle and find a different way. And I mean, we still do that like every day. It's still not like just a straight line. No, I know you want it to be. You want it to be like, yeah. Anyway,
well, and for the listeners, I think I talk about that a lot, this idea that we want it to be linear or we want it to be up and then this coastal, but that's not life. And I think about the idea that, can't even imagine, like I'm sitting here thinking about Greg formulating and you walking around as a salesperson with a bag of stuff like all that and going door to door trying to sell that to where you are today.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I watched you at the Ulta event 2 days ago talking to the Ulta managers from Mexico.
Right.
And your first launch there.
Yeah.
And like, that's, if I could say anything to you guys, if you're watching and you are maybe at the beginning or in the middle of your journey, the only time that we fail is when we quit.
Right.
And I think that often people quit because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been hard?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, really, really hard. And the thing about it is there's another piece to that too. It's not even just, sometimes I say it's like, I mean, Greg is definitely not the quitter. Like, I feel like I was definitely could have been the quitter. Like sometimes say Greg had a hold of this business like a pit bull, like he just had a pit bull grip on it and was just not gonna let it go. I feel like I'm the one that's just the cheerleader and I'm gonna always show up. That's what I say about myself. Like, I'm just always going to show up. Like, it might not look pretty. And there's days when I show up for my staff that I'm just like, I'm sad right now. Like, I'm just going through whatever it is. Or I just always try to, for myself and for other people, encourage people to show up so authentically and just be so present with yourself that you can be present with other people.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's kind of been one of my, I don't know if we call it a secret sauce or just something. And I don't even know where I got that from. I think it's just one thing that I've recognized about myself over 20 years is just like, I'm going to be the one that's going to show up.
I would say that that's you trusting your inner self.
Yeah. I would say that that's the truth.
I think about something really fun too with you and your team. You and Greg are still in the day to day.
Oh yeah, so much.
Yeah,
so much.
Huge company that's actually really small.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. So I wouldn't have known that. I feel very fortunate to be a friend of Joanne now and to kind of see some of that and to be an educator with the brand.
Yeah.
To meet the team and to see this, like, it's a huge, small company.
Right?
Would that be I
think it's a very
that means are like,
well, how it cracks me up because it's like Greg's always like, go big or go home, and I'm always the one like, let people know that we're small, like I think that there's like a double-edged sword with all of it. Like he's such a good visionary and so good at visioning, and he's like, I don't want to show up and look small. You know what I mean? It's like he wants to show up.
Well, and
And
none of
that's
us
what
would think that they're small. Like it's huge, but it's intimate.
it is. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is an interesting, I mean, I haven't even, I mean, I think about it on, we're just different in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I like want to expose the, you know, intimacy or the smallness of who we are. But I think it's like Greg, you know, kind of just being a different person. He just like, you know, I want to look big. I want to make sure that we look big. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. I love that. And it's like sometimes then people, I feel like people are going to have certain expectations of like this
The
massive company
Yeah.
that really were like, you know, duck pedaling underneath the water. You know what I mean? Like,
you guys, the way that this company, big little company, is at Ultas across the world, and they are in salons across the world, and have created a brand really by two people not giving up, Greg and Joanne.
yes.
And I think
Yeah.
it's so cool, and it is what and little in the sense of like that you're still there. Who knows how long that will last? For those of us who are inside, we hope it's forever. But I'd never, like, even this weekend, there wasn't any other founders standing at their booth. Kylie Jenner wasn't giving away her stuff at her booth. You know,
Right.
Jimmy Choo wasn't giving away stuff at Jimmy Choo. The intimacy and the care that are still handled through your fingers is really fascinating to me and really special. Is there a part of owning this brand that you feel really connected to, or really is part of your mission, or like, so it's still the hairdresser, but is there anything else for you that you're like, if I didn't get to do this, I wouldn't?
Well, I mean, I always say it's the people in the community and the connection. I mean, for me, it's just like the heart again, you know, I mean, it's a great product. Yes, it's a great brand. But for me, it is about the connection and the community and the heart and showing up and just wanting to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, the fun factor. I'm like,
I would agree with
I just want to have fun, you know? So, and I think, yeah, it's the community. That's what I always say. I mean, it's like, it's the stylist community, it's the clean beauty community. I mean, like, we have so many cool communities that I think have different complexions and different flavors to them. But I think for me, it's the people, you know, and the passion that goes along with it.
I would agree with that. Okay, so one more pivot. Let's take another pivot here. How long have you and Greg been married?
30 years this year. So 20 years in business together and 30 years married. Yes.
Pretty powerful stuff, you guys, because in the entrepreneurial space, they're always like, if you have a partnership, you're lucky if that lasts. I've been lucky in business that I have had a partner for many years, but most people always ask how. And then my husband and I have owned businesses together, but we don't actually work side by side together.
Yes.
I don't even know if we could. I love you so much, but we're so different, as are most human beings, because we were created to be different. I think it's quite magical. That's your word, mystical. Magical. That you and Greg have managed to not only stay married, raise children, have a child with special needs who still requires daily connection to you, and grow a brand from. How long ago were you doing hair?
I started doing hair in 1980.
No, like, when did you stop doing?
Oh, when did I stop doing hair? No, no, it wasn't that long ago. No, I mean, if I had to guess, maybe 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
like 5 years ago, Joanne was still standing by behind the chair. The company was still growing. They had worked through. So what's the secret to staying married? Because you guys, I don't know if it's true. I never get to hang out with Greg. Joanne and I are always hanging out. Greg, why are you like this? Let's be friends, Greg. But I do think in the interactions I've seen you together, it's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's so caring.
Aw.
So what's the secret?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm going to say one thing. We heard this somewhere. Greg and I like to use it, is like, we never wanted to get divorced at the same time.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, you know what I do? You're taking the kids. Yeah, he's like, I ain't leaving. You know that's true.
Yeah.
And so now,
no. I mean, I think I said this just the other day, and it's like, I don't even know where this came from, but it's like, I just feel like we wake up every day and we choose each other.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we have so much respect for one another that
I think
even
that's
like when the chips are down, or like when I do something that he's not happy with, or vice versa, whatever, that he does something I'm not happy with or whatever, it's like we still have this like respect and love for one another that is just not gonna, there's nothing that's gonna shake that, you
Mm.
know? And then we've just never gotten down and dirty with each other. Like just never, you know, I don't know, slung shit, or I don't, ooh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. You know what I mean? We've just kept that level of respect. And then
Yeah.
also too, sometimes we say, Morgan is the glue that has kept us together in a way. I think very early on when Morgan was first diagnosed and I stepped into the Williams syndrome community, it was very scary for me because I saw a lot of partners that left, or parents that left, or, you know, that divorced. I mean, it's like, I think, you know, you look at the statistics, it's like divorce or, you know, I mean, we like have everything stacked against us. Greg and I do.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Owners, children.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like all the things. So, all the stressors of a marriage, you know, and Greg's an incredible man. I mean, he really is. I mean, just an upstanding, amazing person. Like, you know, it's just like, we're in it together.
Yeah.
We just don't even see it any other way. It's just not even a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in the listening to Joanne, I hope that you're hearing this too. I think the common thread is not giving up. In all situations, honestly, when it sounds like in her work, in business, in marriage, and parenting, the common thread is that desire in holding high esteem. That's another thing I think that I see in you is I never hear you really talk poorly about anyone or anything. Like it's pretty interesting because we live in a world where it's like just common. I mean, people are like, what's the tea? Like it just gets like people want to do that, or you get around and people want to talk bad about their husbands or whatever. And I've never heard you do that. And there's something to be said about, you said it earlier, we filmed an episode for your podcast that we think failed. But that's okay. It'll be for another day. But you said, and maybe it was our live that we did today. We've been very social. You said something like, what we focus on is what we attract.
Oh yeah, no, what we focus on grows.
What we focus on grows. Expand that.
Yeah. So, you know, just the idea of like whatever we focus on is where our attention is at, and that is just going to automatically grow. So like if we focus on the things that aren't working in our life, then we're just going to attract and magnetize more of that. Or if we focus on, I mean, I used to say that even sitting in front of the mirror, like being a hairstylist and sitting in front of the mirror, and you'd have your clients come in, they were like, oh, I don't like this, and my hair's like this, and and I'm like, what do you like about your hair? Like, just focus on that. Like, is it just that one curl? Like, oh my God, I love that one curl. And just like allow that one curl to inform the rest of the hairstyle.
That's
you know, because I just think we have these laser light focuses on these things, or even like, oh my God, that one wrinkle, or that, you know, whatever it is.
Stomach.
Yeah.
Now, like, and then you're bypassing that. Okay, that other thing is beautiful. Yeah. Like my husband's always like chewing this way. Okay, but he like only chews a few hours of the day. I mean, I'm not right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a practice. It is a practice. It's not like it's gonna happen overnight, because that's so kind of you to say, Casey, because I think like I talk about like the dark Joanne sometimes, like you know, the not evil Joanne, dark, I call it dark Joanne, but it's like, I think sometimes like I can catch myself having like these dark moments or whatever, dark thoughts about whatever it is. And it's just like, okay, what is that directing me to look at within myself?
Oh, sure. Because we all want to back the car up and hit somebody. You know, you're not lying if it ain't the truth, you know, but we don't do it. And that's what separates us from the crazy. You know, we didn't have the thought. So I think we all have a dark side.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
All right, Joanne, I'm super grateful that you were here. It's like, this has been like a whole day of like girl talk. I'm going to bring in my friend Jody later this afternoon and hopefully share that with you guys. But Joanne, is there anything like that you would want our listeners, if you're a stylist, is Innersense a brand for every stylist? Like, is it just for curly hair? Is it just for
Oh, I would say it's for every stylist,
Yeah.
every person. It's like, health is what inspired me to provide Innersense to the world, and I think that you will enjoy it wherever you're at on your hair journey and any type of hair you have. And yeah, I think it's for everyone. I'd like to think that it's for everyone for sure.
I would agree that
Yeah.
it's for
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh, I want to mention we also have hair color. So
Yeah.
yeah, we launched hair color. Yes, right.
Yeah.
So
And what separates it?
fume free, fragrance free, non-toxic. I mean, we have new technology out that has a buffered action. If anybody has sensitivity to their scalp when they get hair color, this is the hair color for you. I mean, for stylists out there that are listening, like, this is like a much healthier way. I mean, and the results are absolutely incredible. High shine.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I get asked all the time if I color my hair, and I like to say no, but I do. So I do. So I was a redhead today. Anyways, I don't have to explain the whole thing. This is Innersense hair color. It is beautiful, you guys. And so whether you're listening because you just stumbled upon here and you're a consumer and you want better hair and better health, I would encourage you to try Innersense. I would also say tell your stylist, tell her or him about clean beauty. Tell them that you are looking at something that can change their health and change yours and create a healthier planet and people and communities, right?
For sure.
Joanne, thank you for being my friend.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
Jody.
She always liked Jody better. It's okay. And I do too. Because I like her because I want her better than me because she's got a southern accent. But everyday girls, teaching girls, that's Jody, Joanne, and Casey. We're happy to be here. But anything before we sign off?
No, I mean, this was amazing. I think, thank you. I just want you guys to love yourselves, love your hair, and thank you so much for Casey for having me.
Yeah, so fun. Thank you for being here. Okay, remember, you are worthy of love. You are spectacular. You are unique and special, and the only you like you. And if you're having a bad day, remember, tomorrow's a new day, and things are going to get better because nothing stays the same. I guess this is where I ask you to subscribe to my channel, to follow me on social, and to listen wherever podcasts can be found. And join me every Tuesday at 2 as we unpack how to heal your hair, your heart, and your happiness.